You know, in Nigeria, a really big problem, inconsistent power, has actually created a huge business opportunity. So today, we're going to break down from the ground up how you can launch a profitable phone charging business powered entirely by the sun.
So let's just dive right in. Have you ever thought about starting a business in Nigeria? Not just any business, but one that solves a real, everyday problem for literally millions of people. Well, that's exactly the kind of opportunity we're talking about today.
And this is what's so interesting. This unique opportunity comes directly from a nationwide challenge. The whole reason the phone charging business is so lucrative is because of what the source material calls an epileptic power supply.
Okay, so here's the deal. In a country where being connected is everything, keeping your phone charged isn't a luxury, it's essential. This creates a massive, constant demand for charging services. But here's the hurdle for any entrepreneur. The power you need to run the business either isn't there, or the old backup solution is just way too expensive.
So, how in the world do you power your profit when the grid lets you down and generators cost a fortune to run? The answer, literally, is to look up. Let's get into why solar isn't just an alternative here, it's pretty much the best, most sustainable solution.
And you know, the timing on this is fascinating. A huge shift happened back in May 2023 when the fuel subsidy was removed. Almost overnight, the price of petrol to run a generator just skyrocketed. For a small phone charging business, that new cost could completely wipe out your profit margin. The old way of doing things just doesn't make sense anymore. And this slide, wow, it really lays it all out. On one hand, you've got the generator. We're talking high, unpredictable running costs, that constant noise and fumes, and the daily headache of finding and buying fuel. But on the other hand, you have solar. Yeah, there's an upfront cost, but after that, the power is free. It's totally silent, it's clean, and it gives you reliable power all day long. The choice is becoming crystal clear for so many people.
All right, so let's say you're sold on solar. Awesome. But where do you even begin? This is where we get practical. We're going to walk through how to actually plan your power needs, how to translate the number of phones you want to charge into the exact size of the system you'll need.
And honestly, it all boils down to one simple but super important business question. This is the question that's going to determine the size of your entire solar setup. How many phones on an average day are you planning to charge? Your answer right there is the foundation for everything else. And listen, you do not need to be an electrical engineer to figure this stuff out. It's really just a simple four-step process. First, get a good estimate of your daily phone count. Second, do a quick calculation for the total power you'll need. Third, and this one's a big one, decide on your business hours. And then finally, you use all that info to figure out exactly how much battery backup you need. So, let's make this super real with a quick calculation. The source gives us a great rule of thumb. Your average phone charger pulls about 10 watts of power. So if your goal is to charge, say, 70 phones at the same time, you just multiply 70 by 10. Boom! You need a system that can handle a 700-watt load. It's really that straightforward.
Now here's a pro tip that can save you a serious amount of money. Your operating hours are absolutely critical. Think about it. If you run your business mostly during peak sunshine hours, let's say from 10 in the morning till 5 in the evening, you can power those chargers directly from the sun. This massively cuts down on your need for big, expensive batteries. And trust me, the batteries are often the single biggest cost in the whole system.
Okay, so we figured out our power needs. Now, what do we actually go out and buy? Let's break down a typical solar kit into the 4 essential pieces so you know exactly what you're looking for. First up, we have the inverter. The easiest way to think about this is as the brain of your whole operation. See, your solar panels and your batteries, they produce DC, or direct current, power. But all of your phone chargers need AC, alternating current. That's the stuff that comes out of a normal wall socket. The inverter's job is to make that critical conversion from DC to AC.
Next up, the battery. This is basically your power tank. It's where you store all the extra energy your panels generate when the sun is shining bright. This stored power is what lets you keep the lights on and the phones charging on a cloudy day, or, even more important, after the sun goes down.
And of course, we've got the solar panels themselves. These are the engine of your system. They do all the heavy lifting, grabbing the sunlight and turning it into the DC electricity that's going to fill up your battery tank and run your business all day. And finally, we have the unsung hero of any good solar system, the charge controller. You can think of this as the protector. It sits right between your panels and your battery, and it acts like a smart valve. It carefully manages the flow of electricity to make sure you never overcharge your batteries, which could permanently ruin them. This little box is absolutely key to protecting your investment. So, putting it all together, what does a complete, really solid system look like? Well, here's a great example from our source material. A powerful 2.5 kVA inverter, two big 220 amp-hour batteries for lots of storage, four 300-watt solar panels to soak up the sun, and a 60-amp charge controller to keep it all safe. This is a serious setup designed for a business with a lot of customers.
But wait, what if a system that big is more than you need, especially when you're just starting out? No problem at all. That's the beautiful thing about solar. You can scale it. So let's look at a smaller, more down-to-earth starter kit.
You can absolutely start small and then grow your system as your business grows. For example, a simple setup with just one 100 amp-hour battery, a single 300-watt panel, and a 1,000-watt inverter is actually powerful enough to charge about 10 phones all at the same time. This is a fantastic, much more affordable way to get your business off the ground and start making money. But here's the crucial thing. You have to understand the trade-offs. With this smaller starter system, the source material points out a very realistic limit. After about 6 p.m., you're only going to be able to run for maybe 5 or 6 hours on your battery power. Knowing that is so important for managing your business and your customers' expectations. And that pretty much brings us to the end of this breakdown. We've seen how a huge energy problem in Nigeria has created an incredible opportunity. A business you can build that's both clean and profitable, all thanks to solar power. From figuring out your needs to picking the right parts, the path is clear. So really, the only question left is, what will your solar business power?